Hey everyone, my name's Gunther and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. So I just want to level with you guys. In a previous episode, I had committed to uploading every Tuesday and Friday. And admittedly, I planned that very poorly because I have just returned from vacation and it is currently Tuesday. So I had no chance. Thought I was going to be able to, but I had no chance in getting a video uploaded for Tuesday. So I am currently rushing to get this video done so that I can upload it for Wednesday. And I do apologize. But after this, we should be back to our regularly scheduled uploads, which are Tuesdays and Fridays. Fingers crossed as we work on this. So in today's episode, we have a few things to address. I saw some comments just advising that they were kind of annoyed with our protesters at the Arctic Fox exhibit, and that would make sense. I too am annoyed by the protesters at the Arctic Fox exhibit. So there's a few ways we can fix this. Number one is we can raise the barrier and then create some more one-way glass locations. And this just means that they're never going to be stressed out, which is what's causing the protesters. So that's number one. Number two is we can start the production of our Arctic, our Arctic exhibits. And in a previous episode, I had actually commented about trying to incorporate it and building it up here. And I think that's really what we want to start to do. We want to start to work our way up and utilize this natural topography to kind of create an entire Arctic section. So there's a few ways that we can do this. We can focus on a lot of indoor areas, which, considering we are currently in Canada, we technically have the requirement for to have it outside. I was at a loss for words there. So I think maybe we might try to incorporate some interesting exhibits. Now, initially, I really wanted to kind of start off with a polar bear exhibit. I love polar bears, and I think they are some majestic creatures. That being said, we require conservation credits to do that, and we just do not have the conservation credits to support that. So knowing that, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We are going to start the production of our reindeer exhibit. This is going to be our first Arctic exhibit. We're going to have to build out a little bit, but we're going to go ahead with that. Just looking at the species data, they need a minimum of 3, and really it has to be 1 male followed by 11 females. So how we're going to do this? We have to have a minimum of 3. So let's bump this up to the maximum, which is 11. So we're going to need 1,000 square meters of land. Coincidentally, it looks like they can survive in up to 23 degrees Celsius. So we may be just fine from that perspective. I might be reading this incorrectly. It's entirely possible. I am. But hey, we'll figure that out when we cross that bridge. So as always, we're going to continue to use our jump cut, or the not jump cuts, speed builds to kind of get this done. Now, the other thing, just before I jump off on that, is I want to acknowledge some feedback I got about the grizzly bear exhibits. Specifically, having the chain link fence, it felt that it was very not. It didn't really take into consideration, we're trying to create a conservation society, and really, exhibits should not have chain link fences. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. I like the way the exhibit looks. I'm a little unhappy because we've kind of pigeonholed ourselves into a very limited space. And in order for us to kind of make them happy, we actually need to increase our overall space. Not by much, but we need to. So what we're going to do, maybe not today, but in a future episode, we're going to redesign our exhibit. We're going to drop the chain link fence. We're going to put something else there. I have to think about this. And the reason why is because, understandably, the chain link fence is there to protect them and our guests. The reality is grizzly bears, they can be some pretty mean animals when they come into contact with humans. So we just need to keep that in mind. And consider what kind of barrier we would want to use. I want to get away from utilizing the pre-made barriers and kind of making more natural barriers. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Coincidentally, and good news, Viantka is expecting some offspring due in December, so just around the corner. Another piece of feedback that I received was just when building in the dark, it's very hard for people to see, and I agree, it's very hard for me to see as well. So they gave me some feedback, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust what I had originally said. Originally, I had commented that I was going to try to leave the game running in the background because in a normal zoo you would not be able to pause and do what you need to do. But it doesn't make sense. I can't modify modify the time of day in franchise mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on pause, and I will unpause it wherever I can, and then I'll try to find a more a more effective process. But that is something for the future. So as always, sit back and enjoy. And if you have any feedback on this build, let me know. I'm always open for some constructive criticism. Well, I had to unpause it for a little bit. We're actually going to unpause it again. But otherwise, I think we've built our first little exhibit. For our Arctic area. We've built our makeshift little building. I appreciate the water effects too. I actually haven't really seen this where it kind of falls off. That's pretty cool. But essentially just where our power, water, and keeper hut's going to go. We have a path leading around to it. And this is going to be our viewing gallery. And it is outdoors, as you can see. But we're going to have a nice water. And so the water would act as a deterrent to prevent the reindeer from escaping. And we utilized rocks. Is it the best way to do it? I don't know. But we have a nice large open area for them to explore. In fact, actually, let's just, we should probably pop down just a few more little, what am I looking for here? Nature pieces. Make them a little bit more comfortable with their new home. Get something, go like that, and kind of just fill in some areas. But you know what, I might continue just kind of fill in a little bit of a few of the gaps just off camera. But suffice to say, I am quite happy with this little exhibit. We have some ice kind of pulling in, so natural that we would see ice kind of start to freeze over. We have their food. We have quite a few enrichment activities going around, and I think it is time, once they've passed quarantine, I think it is time for us to get them coming in. Now, my theory in leaving this area open is we're going to have our first themed area. I don't know what it's going to be called. Probably something along the lines of Arctic Point. And then if we can do that, I think that would be fantastic. We're going to go ahead and delete this for now. We can't really get anything over. No power over there. But we could call this Arctic Point. We'll have like a nice little, introduction area that kind of just calls it out for that. And I think that's pretty cool. Next step is once we have enough conservation credits, we'll kind of try to build in a little bit of a polar bear exhibit, and then maybe we'll kind of sweep around and then have like an Arctic fox exhibit and move them from over here to over here. I think that would be really cool. And then my hope is that maybe we can utilize this pre-existing rock wall that we've built, and then have the two exhibits kind of butt up against each other and maximize our space. But that being said, I'm pretty positive our animals have completed their quarantine. So let's go ahead and see. They most definitely have. We have a small herd of reindeer. In fact, actually, I think I just noticed one of their names is Olaf. It's an interesting name. Brings back some memories. So I had a lot of time to think over the last week while I was out and about, and we went to a national park in Canada, Banff and Jasper National Park, and the view was absolutely stunning. And this is what really made me start to think, I want to flesh this out. Now, there's still some areas, there's still some things I need to improve. We need to really figure out a better way to kind of do like a wall or a natural exhibit. We can't keep on doing rock walls. It's just not going to work out. Looking from afar, it's not working. It's not working in our favor. So we just need to keep that in mind when we kind of go about and do our thing. That being said, we are slowly kind of closing the gap on all of our stuff, so that's going to help out. But I really want to look at how to maybe expand on this. If you guys have any ideas, let me know, because I think that's going to be the most important thing, is just learning a little bit. It is getting dark. We're going to remain unpaused just while we wait for the reindeer to show up. My hope is that they're going to be happy. Hang on, we'll just slow down a little bit. Let's see here. They have no hard shelter, so we are gonna have to build them some shelters. You know what? Maybe we will work on that on our own. I don't really want to leave it like this, but you know what? We may just have to. We might kind of do what we did with our exhibit over here with the bison, and kind of create like an you know, a very apparent man-made shelter. I didn't really think they would need hard shelter, but you know, suffice to say, you know, sometimes we learn. But otherwise, I think they're pretty happy. They have ample space, lots of space. Really love their terrain. They're very happy with everything. The only thing is that hard shelter that we'll need to kind of work on, but otherwise they're quite happy. So I think that that's a success in my books. Now, as always, let me know what you thought of this. Let me know if you feel that there's a better way for us to do this. I would be really appreciative. As I mentioned, you know, this is always going to be a learning experience. And I will say, from my first exhibits that I've ever made to this exhibit that we have going on right now, I can definitely tell you I've definitely learned quite a bit in doing this, and I'm quite happy with that. We do need to figure out some of this, some of these. You know, alerts that we're getting, but you know, I think that's about it. As always, feel free to leave a like, a comment, let me know what you think of the game. If you're feeling up to it, subscribe. It lets me know I'm doing a good job, and of course, I will always commit to trying to respond to all of the comments. Otherwise, ciao for now, everybody.